A new whistleblower has come forward about a UFO incident from 1952, specifically July 1952 in Washington, D.C., where it is alleged that somewhere in the range of 6 to 10 UFOs flew over the Capitol building and fighter jets were allegedly sent to go after them. And a new witness about this event has come forward. Let's take a look. Now, this witness has never told their story publicly in this way before. Now, it all started on this interview with Luis Elizondo on the Jesse Michaels Show. But while they were filming this interview at this Masonic Lodge, okay, the security guy or the door guy that works there, this older gentleman, tells them, recognizes Luis Elizondo and tells them about being a witness to this event. And so they sit him down, they hook him up with a mic, they throw the lights on, and they interview him. And this is the first thing he had to say.
It's my father and I were sitting on the back porch, and he happened to look up and see it looks like four waves or something. There were lights. Four of them. They trailed about 3 or 4 behind me. And I asked my father what was it. He just looked at me and said, I know.
Which direction did your house face, your porch?
My porch was like the 13th and E, but 12 blocks from here, from the Capitol, right off, or half a block off of Pennsylvania Avenue. And my back porch, from my back porch, you could see the Capitol.
Now, again, what makes this incident even more compelling is the fact that we sent fighter jets after these UFOs, right, to chase them down over the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., right, our most protected secrets and our most protected city in America. Some might argue the world.
Soon we learned that he was one of the last living witnesses of the famous DC flyover. A slew of UFO sightings in July of 1952 in the Capitol, prompting headlines like this newspaper article, and a call between Truman and then American chief UFO investigator Edward J. Ruppelt. It also sent the CIA into a frenzy about how to manage the UFO problem.
We can say that the recent sightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any department of the United States.
There's been a lot of discussion that actually there were some, I think it was an F-105 fighter jet that was actually scrambled to intercept those lights, those luminous objects. And there's even one reported account where perhaps they were asked to fire upon and may have actually hit one of them. That has not been verified yet, but there are some allegations about that.
Now, this next part I'm about to tell you, depending on how much you follow this topic, may just absolutely shock you. All right. Now, this witness tells the remainder of his story and exactly what he saw up close. And it may remind you of one of the most recognizable UFO videos in recent memory. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Me and 2 of my friends were standing on the sidewalk talking down on Wiley Street, Northeast. And while we were talking, just happened to look up to see this thing going up in the air. Looked like a huge jellyfish. I said, what the hell is a jellyfish doing up going? And it just was going up and up, and like the jellyfish was in the water or whatever. At the bottom of it, looking at it, it looks like looking into a volcano when you see reddish and black,
the lava
bubbling, lava bubbling or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like under the bottom of it.
First of all, when did this occur? What year?
That was in the 70s, around 73, 74, somewhere along
Early
there.
to mid 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, and was that here in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
So do you remember what direction you were looking at in the sky?
Yeah. That way, southeast.
How far away and how big was the object, if you had to guess?
That thing was big. It was about the size of maybe a car, like a round, but it was round, about the size of a car. And it was about, when I first saw it, it was like looking at that. and then it looked like it was just going up and up and up.
Almost like a parachute? Is that a...
Yeah, like a parachute, like,
Okay.
but it was just going.
Interesting.
Well, how high is this? About 30 feet?
Yeah, we're roughly about 30 feet.
Well, that was about 45 or 50 feet.
That's
just a
pretty
little
close.
higher than that.
Wow.
Now, you're probably thinking what I'm thinking. I've heard about a jellyfish UFO video before. Well, you're right if you're thinking that.
When UFO researcher Jeremy Corbell released a video that was caught in Iraq in 2018 of a jellyfish-shaped UFO, I have to admit I was a bit skeptical. It just felt like the object looked like none of the other discs, tic tacs, saucers that get reported. It was extremely high strangeness. And so hearing this groundskeeper, Maurice Hill, saying that he himself had had an up-close and personal encounter with a jellyfish-shaped UFO was actually pretty mind-blowing and was fairly confirming for me.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Really
sir, it's
appreciate
been
it.
an honor and privilege. Thank you very much, Mr. Hill.
Oh, you welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm sorry, what the hell is going on, right? That jellyfish UFO video was super enticing when that came out earlier this year in 2024, right? But a lot of people are like, oh, what is this? We've never heard of this kind of, craft, and, it looks so unusual, looks creepy. These are balloons. This is something else. This is not a UFO, right? There's no evidence of any other jellyfish, videos, right, or witnesses. But here we have somebody from the 50s saying that they saw this jellyfish type UFO, right? It's absolutely fascinating, right? This sort of molten lava looking thing, right? Jellyfish moving through the sky, right? I mean, this is insanity, right? To be honest with you, like, I gotta be honest. This had me intrigued, right? So look, there's one more part left to this interview that I'm going to show you, right? That is equally as shocking, right? But first, I just want to recommend, please go watch this full interview on Jesse Michaels' channel, American Alchemy. I'll put a link in the description, and it's absolutely fascinating. It has more to do with Luis Elizondo, but this part was just so fascinating to me that I had to cover this, right? So, again, link in the description. Go check it out. Let's get back to this last clip from this interview about this, again, that may just shock you as far as how much information is out there about these jellyfish UFO videos. Take a look.
So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Both the DC flyover and a jellyfish.
right, and by the way, there's other accounts of jellyfish.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Oh, yeah. There's actually a DVD on it. Actually, I can send it to you, yeah.
Are they dropping anything? Because I know there's some cases where there's molten lava and whatnot.
Yeah, well, assembled on there's a reference to something called angel hair, which refers to a slewing off or sloughing off of the outer layer of the vehicle, and it drips down onto almost like a residue or like molten metal on the ground. And that is referred to as angel hair. I talk about in my book that the external part of the craft may be ablative, sacrificial. That's why there's a lot of layers. Potentially what happens is that when it's juiced up, there is an interaction between the energy source and the outside of the craft, which is actually the engine. It's not actually an engine inside. And that is what creates that bubble. But every time you juice it up, you lose a layer.
I see.
It's disposable.
Correct.
Who else was thinking, I want to see that DVD? Right? This DVD of the jellyfish UFO video. Now I'm super curious. I don't know about y'all, right? What other DVDs are out there that I don't know about? Is this something we can find? I don't know. But I will say this. Absolutely fascinating, right? As well as this talk about angel hair, right? Which I've covered on the channel before. I'll put a link in the description so you can find out a little more about it. It's an interesting phenomena, right? And this idea that these UFOs may be disposable, right? Or at least the outer layers they shed, right? That's interesting. I'm absolutely fascinated by this, right? Is this just their version of our plastic water bottle? Just everywhere, just discard, right? Pieces of the shit. Imagine your car did that down the road, Right. I don't know. I'm just blown away by this whole part of this interview, and I'm so happy that that guy came forward to tell his story and talk about this. I'll be curious to see where this goes. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, please. All right, guys. We'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.